Hello, hello. But we're going to do this webinar on 6 pillars to 6 figures. I'm going to talk to you about how I went to 6 figures very rapidly and what you can expect during this webinar. Okay. All right, so a little bit about me is prior to being an accountant, I worked through a lot of different types of companies, lots of different industries, because I'm such a fast learner. I enjoy so much that I found myself getting a lot of different types of experience. And I think that's part of the reason that it makes me a really great bookkeeper and accountant, because when I work with different types of industries, I know a lot of different industries. So that's really awesome. I've always learned really quickly and moved up in every job that I've had. I've had 20 plus years of accounting experience doing books on the side. And then I put myself through college as a single mom of 4 kids. And then I worked at a large accounting firm for about 3.5 years. And then I went off and started my own accounting practice about 9 years ago. So I took my practice from billing $1,000 a month to $10,000 a month in less than 6 months. It was about a 4-month period. It was actually very quick and too quick, actually. I'm going to add to that. So I now own quite a few other small companies that kind of are built around my passions in life. And then my true passion is actually to help others discover their passion and then turn it into profit and then teach them how to achieve success in life and business. And so one of the things that I love teaching is teaching other bookkeepers that are taking that career path on how to be successful. This is the fun part. So when I went from 1,000 to 10,000 within 4 to 6 months, there's we all encounter problems when we're doing business, no matter what kind of business it is. So part of my journey was I worked at the large accounting firm. I was part of a voluntary layoff because 2 large clients, I don't know why I put small, they were large clients, 2 large clients left. One of them was unexpected, and so they knew I wanted to kind of go off on my own. So they came to me and offered me to take 2 small clients. That's kind of small. I need my glasses. And so they offered me to take 2 clients with me, and I took the risk and I took a leap of faith and I just went and did it. So I really kind of I did kind of have a choice, but I took the leap of faith and didn't have any income coming in whatsoever. And I decided to kick some butt. I went and put some ads on KSL. That's a classified ad in the US. So if some of you are from other countries or whatever, some of you may know what KSL is. It's a classified ad where you can post services. I was desperate for clients, but I took a leap of faith and I went and hired me a sales coach. And I paid him over $2,000 a month. And I wondered, how in the world am I going to pay him? But I'm a find a way, make a way woman, and I did it. So he was specialized around sales and marketing, and he was a really awesome coach. I had some techniques that I knew from the firm that we did. I just knew that what we was doing wasn't working on bringing new clients in. It was working with providing value to our current clients. So we took the things that I had and we put some things together that he advised me to do. And it worked really awesome. I actually grew very quickly and I really didn't have to do much marketing. It all became word of mouth and it was actually really awesome. So in the process, I grew very quickly. And then I was kind of like, wow, I've got all these clients. Now what? I spent lots of time and money putting into softwares to put systems in place. And this software didn't work, that software didn't work. And oh man, there's expensive softwares out there for workflow and all of this great stuff. So I spent lots and lots of money on that. I spent lots of money on investing in employees. Man, just adding that money up, it is kind of really like, it makes you think, it kind of takes my breath away thinking about it. But knowing that was lessons learned, what I would have done to have a mentor and a coach to help me walk me through step by step. And that's why I'm doing what I'm doing today. But during that time frame, I ended up working 18-hour days, running around like a chicken with my head cut off. I had a paralyzed husband, 2-year-old twins, and then I was working 18-hour days. Oh, I already said that part. Oh, I don't know. I did say that part. I was working 18-hour days, and I was strung thin, overwhelmed, burned out, and with all of that, I ended up losing everything that I had built overnight due to an employee mistake. Now, mistakes happen with everyone, and this was an easy mistake that anyone could have made. I could have even made this mistake, and I don't blame my employee for making the mistake. I blame myself for not having the systems in place. And so that mistake actually put me in debt, and it pretty much closed my business to an extent. And I could have gave up and walked away, and I contemplated doing it a couple times. However, I says, no, I am not, because I'm going to grow my business again. I'm going to start over, and that's what I'm going to do. And so the moral of the story, I just didn't have the right things in place at the right time. I was not ready for that rapid growth. So talk about failure, right? To be honest, I wanted to give up, but I didn't. And what does failure to mean to you guys? I want everyone to put in the chat, unless you're driving, do not put it in the chat, but what is failure to you guys? I'm waiting. Amanda, oh, not Amanda, oh, chance to learn, Amanda and Marilyn. Thank you, yes. So I'm gonna, so my goal is to take my experiences and my lessons and provide you with the things to keep that from happening. So here's some inspiration for you. Failure should be our teacher, not our undertaker. Failure is a delay, not a defeat, and it's temporary detour, not a dead end. So I decided that I just took a really long detour. I actually am still paying off that debt. I dealt with that problem for about 4 years. It was so much stress and so much weight on me. And I actually talked to other CPAs and other accountants, and they've had a very similar situation happen. The difference was they did not have the money set aside to take care of the problem quickly. And so that's where I went wrong on that situation. But that one thing could have buried me big time. So, and I did this all as a single mom. So very, very fun stuff. So I don't want that to scare y'all, because I'm here and I'm going to tell you the resolution and what you need to do to avoid that from happening. Okay. Or any other problems that you, I mean, there's always going to be unexpected problems. However, even just doing bookkeeping, there's a lot of things that could happen, and it's a pretty risky thing to do. I mean, you're dealing with people's money. So, so the resolution, that looks like a lot there. So I'm going to kind of just skim through it a little bit. I definitely learned how to get to 6 figures within a year. And I also learned how to lose it all overnight, but I also learned what to do different. So starting over means that you'll do better the next round, right? And then I also learned the systems and internal controls that you need to have in place before you start to grow. And I would even recommend, even before you even have one client, to have those systems ready, because when it happens, and you know, it may take time to get that first client, but eventually you'll start getting them pretty quickly once you add value to yourself and learn how to close. I've learned always to have a mentor by your side who has experience in what you're trying to learn, and so that they can take you on the fast track, but also take you through the steps to do it right. I learned to always ask for professional help and advice from someone who has experience and knowledge. I always thought that when I hired people, I wanted someone that knew less than me. And the key thing to a successful business and successful entrepreneurs is they hire someone smarter than them, as smart as them, or smarter. And that is how people succeed. It is not I have a passion to train and help and coach people. And so I wanted to just train everyone from scratch. And I was training employees from scratch, and I had some great ones, but that's just kind of, I learned the hard way. We can still do that, but we got to have at least one really awesome person on our team. Let's see. Don't try and figure things out on your own. I was so prideful. I'm like, I can learn fast. I can do this by myself. Hire professionals that are good at what they do best. That is one of the things that we teach our clients. Let us do what we do best while they do what they do best. So when it comes to accounting and stuff, business owners should not be doing their own accounting. They should be doing what they do best, and that's their business that they started for a reason, right? Let's see. When you start as a solopreneur, you're always having to wear every hat in the business. And that's unfortunately what we have to do at first. But eventually you want to be able to get help, hire some help, maybe outsource it on, there's all those different sites. There's a lot of you that are on, what's it called? Can't think of it right now. I'll bring it up in a minute. But I took small courses that helped, but it never gave me the step-by-step action items. My sales coach did. I paid a lot of money for him. But moving forward later on, I started, buying smaller courses, and it gave me a lot of information, but I was always getting stuck on certain things. So I had to find another course to get me over that hump. So it took me longer to get certain places like marketing online. That's a new one for me that I started doing just not too long ago, excuse me. And hiring a coach definitely helps, and it gets you there faster. So I've learned that that's a must. And so with all of that, that is why I created and developed 6 Pillars to 6 Figures. I've helped other bookkeepers for free, given them advice. That's why I have the Facebook group that I have to give free advice there. But there's so much that you have to put into place that there's never enough time to get, I could never put enough free stuff out there to give you every little single step. So that's why I created the 6 Pillars to 6 Figures. And so you can do rapid growth and still be able to have everything in place that needs to be in place at the right time. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go through the 6 pillars. The first pillar, and I'm telling you these in the order that they need to be applied. So keep this in mind if you're taking notes. I recommend that you take notes, but because you remember things better. However, I am going to send you a copy of this video at the end. So the first one is your business plan and your goals. You need to know where you're going. There's a lot of questions that need to be answered as far as like where you're going to go with your business. Like, are you going to be all virtual? Are you going to have a large practice firm where you can have employees? Are you going to be a solopreneur and you're going to be the one doing all the work and maybe just have a little assistant? Are you going to grow your practice really large and then sell it? Is that going to be an exit strategy for you to sell? I know a lot of people that build up firms and then they sell them for a lot of money so they can retire. Or are you going to use this as just a side gig? I mean, there's a lot of questions there to know what you're going to put in place, because you don't want to put systems in place that are going to be meant for someone that wants to scale really large and really quickly and that wants to grow their business. So there's a lot of questions there that needs to happen. So that's the first thing you need to do, is decide where you're going, how you're going to get there, and kind of creates I recommend everybody creates a business plan, but when they do coaching with me, we go through some questions a lot of questions that I answer, so I know that I'm giving them the right information and I'm customizing it to their needs. So there's that part. Where do you want to go in 1 year, 5 years, and 10 years? It's important that you have those goals in front of you. A goal is just a dream until it's written down and tracked, right? So how are you going to get there? And then what's going to keep you from getting there? You need to be aware, is there some things that you need to learn to be able to get you there and help you get the the experience maybe, or maybe there's some qualities that you need to develop to be able to get there. We need to determine what your downfalls and there's your strengths, and then there's your weaknesses, and we need to know what those weaknesses are so we can get you there. Know your why and always have that in front of you. Have your goals mapped out, track them, and then how do you price your services? Are you going to do it hourly, per job, or value pricing? So that's another thing that you need to decide. And through the coaching program, I give different ideas on how to do those things. But for now, if you're just learning and you're just starting out, the best way is to just do it by the hour. When you start to do it quicker, you can start doing value pricing and stuff like that. But you got to kind of get a feel where you're at on how much time it takes you and when you get really good and fast. So, okay, pillar 2. So that's the stuff you got to have in place first. And then we're going to talk about balance and personal development. So one of the big things is I lost myself in all of that craziness that happened. So you need to make sure that you have work and life balance, and continue to develop yourself and educate yourself all the time. As a business owner and an entrepreneur, you always want to keep educating yourself no matter what. That's the way we grow and learn. So make sure you make a plan, make your schedule and your plan, and then create a schedule and stick to it. Sorry, I kind of messed up on that line. Just remember that short-term sacrifice equals long-term results, but don't always, I told myself that every day, okay, short-term sacrifice, long-term results. And I ended up wearing myself out completely. So take time for you and personal development, take time for yourself, take time for your health. And as an accountant, like, we can get buried in something, and next thing we know it, it's 5 p.m. and we didn't even eat lunch. So take care of yourself, because I promise you, if you do that, you will go further and you will go faster, even if you feel like you're not going to, because you're thinking that you're losing time. So just make sure you focus on that. So I do include that in one of the pillars because I think it's important. Part of the educating yourself is developing more skills. So one of the skills that I recommend, and I tell all of my clients that they do need to do the QuickBooks Pro certification. If you don't know what that is, I can share that later on, but it's a QuickBooks certification. It's free. And if they haven't done it yet, I make them start that at the beginning of our coaching. So that's something that you can all start working on right now. That will give you some more qualities and stuff. It will help you get clients that way if you learn QuickBooks really well. And then I did hear that, and there's some other countries that they don't allow the QuickBooks Pro certification. If that's the case, let me know. We might be able to find a way around that. So anyway, let me know. The third one of the most important ones that I totally messed up on, systems and processes. So what systems and processes do you have in place? Which ones do you need in place? And then we're going to have to put those systems in place based off of where you want to go. Okay, so that kind of comes from the business plan that we start at the very beginning, and then we start working on, okay, so, client onboarding, engagement letters. You got to have an engagement letter. You have to have insurances in place. What are you going to use for secure document storage? What kind of automated processes are we going to put in place to be able to make your life easier, to make you be able to go farther on your own before you have to start hiring help? Are you going to hire employees, or are you going to hire contractors? And then you have to have onboarding and training for them. And when you start hiring and training employees, man, that sucks a lot of time away from you. I'm telling you. That's where I started getting like strung really, really thin. So having to train employees and stuff. So we want to have that system in place so that you can maximize time there. And automation is the best thing ever. I'm telling you that right now. All right, is everyone still with us? Because I don't want anyone falling asleep on me. So tell me in the chat if you're awake and you're alive, alert, awake, and enthusiastic. Is everybody still here? All right, am I boring you, or are you guys getting some good information so far? Okay, awesome. Cool. All right, so the fourth pillar is marketing, and that's where a lot of you are needing the help as well. You didn't realize probably you needed systems in place first, right? Now you're thinking, man, before I start marketing, I better get these systems in place, because that's what you need to do. So part of your systems is going to include marketing, but you don't want to go market and then not have systems in place, because who knows, your marketing might turn out really awesome and you might start getting clients like a flood, because that's what happened to me. So what marketing are you going to use? That's depending on your type of client. If you're going to be all online, if you're going to be all online, you're going to want to do online marketing. If you're going to want to develop a firm locally, you're going to want to do in-person networking. There's some great networking business groups out there that I'm going to, I can tell you guys a couple awesome things to do in person to be able to start getting clients there. You want to know if you're going to have a niche. I'm going to tell you can scale faster and easier if you have a niche that you're going to focus on, because number one, their onboarding is going to be really close to the same. You're going to have the same type of accounts in their balance sheet and their chart of accounts. And you know, with QuickBooks, and that's 100% of my clients are all on QuickBooks, just an FYI. I do have a couple that use for extra businesses. They have a free one that they do online, and I have one that uses Xero. But people are starting to reach out to other softwares here and there, but they do not provide the kind of reports that QuickBooks does. And I utilize QuickBooks to show my value, because you can dig in and do a lot of cool stuff. So I'm gonna, I kind of show that when I take you through creating value with yourself through the coaching program. But QuickBooks is a really awesome report, has a lot of report features in there that I can't live without. I really can't. So, so there's online marketing, there's organic or there's paid, business networking in person, classified ads, Craigslist, Upwork, that's the word I was looking for earlier, Upwork and freelance.com, Fiverr, Splice. There's so many out there. There's LinkedIn that you can market yourself that way, organically. And then what kind of marketing do you need to accomplish your long-term vision? And then it's just all going to be determined how you want to structure your practice. And so that's an important thing to understand and know. And then on the second line there, I said, what's your avatar? So when I say avatar, I'm meaning what's your target client? And so you may be focused on the trades, and you can have 1 or 2 or 3 niches, but you want to perfect one, move to the next, and then do the next one. So what I started doing, I was taking on every client I possibly could, and it was every industry, and I loved the challenge. I loved the variety. However, it was so hard for my employees. For me, it was okay because I brought them on, but for my employees, it was so hard for them to remember some things. And so that's where they had to ask me a lot of questions. I had to go back and change a lot of stuff. So it's really, really key that you have your systems in place to track all that information. And then also it's really nice to have a specific niche. And now what I do is I have, you know, people that do work for me, I give them a specific niche, and then they work on that niche, and that way it's really easy and they do the work a lot faster as well. So it creates more value to you as well. So that is pillar 4. Number 5 is production. So when your schedule gets full, what's the plan? Are you going to outsource it? Are you going to, you know, what are you going to do? So you want to have that plan in place, and we got to know how much you can take on your own without getting overwhelmed. And then, do you take every client that crosses your path? I used to, and I don't anymore, because I'm going to tell you, even when you're in the need of that client, Sometimes there's certain clients that you have to let go. There's those time suckers out there that will just suck you dry. That's all I have to say. I don't know how else to say it. That doesn't sound nice, but I had some time suckers for sure. So we call that, we've got A clients and D clients. So we don't want to take on any D clients. And if you have clients you're not sure, you want to be able to eliminate the D clients and maybe outsource them to another bookkeeper that might need it more than you. And then the key thing is to add value as much as possible, increase your skills and knowledge. That was also in your personal development. Hire a team that's as good or better than you. Like I said earlier, put them in the right positions. I've learned that every employee has a special, unique thing about them. You got to learn how to find what's good about them and what they do best and put them in those positions. I was like, here, you do this job, and I would train them. And, if they completely hate it, they're not going to succeed at it and they're not going to do a good job. So learn how to read people and understand people so you can put them in the right positions. And then delegate, delegate, delegate as much as you possibly can. And then work on your business, not in your business. So when you start growing, you're going to be spending more time. Marketing takes a lot of work. So you're going to be spending more time on marketing, and then you have your systems in place, and then it's going to all flow into your employees, and then eventually it comes back to you, and eventually you'll just be the person that reviews everything before it goes to the client. Okay. So that's what I pretty much said, is onboarding and production is simplified and faster when you have a niche. And that's what's going to help your production go faster and smoother. Okay. And then, all right, so pillar 6, this is the last one. And the last one is accounting. And I know that we do accounting. However, I tell all of my clients that there are 3 principles to maximize profit and growth in your business. And this goes for any type of business, including bookkeepers and accountants. Okay. There's 3 things: marketing, production, and accounting. I want all of you to tell me in the chat, which one do you think is most important out of the 3? Come on. Let's see how much you know here. And this is something that actually helps me close the deal with my clients. So what do you guys think it is? Is it marketing because it brings in the customers? Is it production because that's what brings in the money? Or is it accounting? That is correct, Raul. All 3 are important. However, tell me this. I think they're all equally important to do at the same time. Yes. Let me ask you this. So if we have all 3 of those, and which one is the one that business owners usually put off? It's the accounting, isn't it? Because marketing, they're forced to do it to get customers. Yep. And production, they're forced to do the job to get paid. And then the accounting always gets put off, right? So the one that's the most important is their accounting. Do you want to know why? Or do you know why? So if our accounting isn't done, how can you make decisions on marketing and production? So for example, you can start doing marketing and production, but how are you going to know what type of marketing is going to do the best? I mean, you'll see money coming in and you'll kind of know where the marketing is coming from. But if you have everything done and at a click of a button, you can say, all right, this month my marketing went up, but my sales went down. So how are you going to know what decisions to make in your business to move forward and to make changes to maximize your profit and growth? So your accounting, so for example, contractors are one of the most, I love them the most because they have employees, right? Are they taking advantage of time? What employees are profitable, which ones aren't, which ones are milking the clock, which ones aren't, which ones, you have to have your accounting done to know those numbers. Do you guys agree with me? Yes, awesome. So this is something I teach all of my clients. I talk to them about this when I do a free review on their books. And this is how I bring clients in, is I give them a free review and consultation, and I, talk to them about this, and if they want to grow, if they want to make better decisions. Some of the smaller guys, they're not interested in knowing the numbers, like real estate agents, some of those different, I mean, they want to know the numbers, but they don't really have a lot of expenses and overhead. But the ones that have expenses and overhead, that's one thing that you can talk to them about and say, one of the key things is to put them in the black, and in the black means that they're profitable. So if you're not working all those three things together, then you're not, it's like a circle of life. If you miss one or the other, it's going to fall apart and you're not going to be profitable. So anyways, accounting is number one. So that's always the thing that clients leave off till the very last. Or they're trying to do it in the middle of the night when they're supposed to be with their family. So that is important that they invest to get it done. And then you ask them about, what's their, if it takes them an hour a month to do their accounting, what is their time worth? What is the value of their time? Let's say they can go out and get a job that's like $2,000 in that hour, but they have to value their time at a certain amount. And if they look at themselves in that way, then they will think, okay, if they got, let's say it's $100 an hour they charge for labor, okay? If they go out and get a new client, that hour is $100. I mean, they could have paid us to go get a $2,000 job, or whatever it is that it cost them to get the books done. So anyway, that's the thing, that you create value to yourself and point out what their value is and what it means to them to have it done. And that's one way that you can add value to yourself on closing the deal. So once all the other pillars are in place, running smoothly, it's now time to maximize profit and growth. So I teach this to you guys as bookkeepers as well, to make sure that your accounting doesn't get left off when you're going crazy and hitting your six figures. So, okay, so the next, so this is the 6 pillars to 6 figures. And these are this is the processes that I take you through. We start off the first, week or two, the first couple or about the first month, we go through these, but, and then we start kind of taking a little bit from each pillar so you can start getting clients as soon as possible. Because I try to give you some tips and tricks to start getting clients at the beginning, so that way you can be working on that at the same time. And then after that, we really kick some butt on marketing and go forward on that. So that is the step-by-step training program. What you get with 6 pillars to 6 figures, you get weekly Zoom training with me, myself and I, and then customized coaching for your specific business plan and needs. So it's specified to your situation. We do step-by-step action items to ensure success. I give you unlimited access to me for questions pertaining, for questions or unlimited phone calls or texts, whatever you need to do after your phone call every week. I provide you with accountability to follow up and ensure success. Sometimes when we get too busy, it's hard to be accountable to the things we need to do and put in place. We get a little distracted sometimes. I provide you with a virtual bookkeeping professional certification. So it's my own certification, but what I do and promise you with that is I am going to be launching a website called Virtual Bookkeeping Professionals. I'll be featuring you on that website. And then also I will provide you with any kind of reference that's needed to help get a client or to help get a job, whatever that is, that you went through my certification and that you have the knowledge and the skills to be a professional bookkeeper. That's one thing that I teach bookkeepers as well, is that there's bookkeepers and there's professional bookkeepers. And my model is to provide CPA quality without the CPA price. So you're a CPAs charge a lot of money. So you want to be able to, and they're worth that money, right? Because they have this the certifications and they have their CPA license. And I also have a degree in accounting. However, I don't have any desire to be a CPA, and I don't have a desire to do taxes. So some of you may have the desire to do taxes, and you may find that you enjoy bookkeeping more and you'd rather outsource the taxes, or maybe you want to do the taxes and outsource the bookkeeping and get some systems in place, and then outsource the bookkeeping so that you can still cash in on the bookkeeping part. So there's a lot of ways to do that and to maximize your profit. So, and then on your way to six-figure practice, I want to teach you how to have higher client retention. The retention rate for clients for accounting practices is you lose about 20% every year. That's the statistics. When I was at the large accounting firm, we always expected 20% turnaround on losing and gaining new clients. And so, but if you provide value and quality, you're going to be able to retain those clients and they'll never leave you, because if you're going to give them great value. So lifetime access to my recorded training courses and groups that I have available. And then I will provide you access to all the recorded sessions that we have. And then there's so much more. I mean, that's the main things that you're going to get, but it's also very valuable.
So I wanted to cut out some of the chat and just kind of jump in here. And what I was saying is very valuable to have a mentor to take you through step by step and to get you there quicker. It's a fast track when you have someone that has already been there and done that, right? So my question is, how valuable is it to you to be able to get to the 6 figures and to get to 10K in 4 to 6 months? That's a question you want to ask yourself. And so this is one of my favorite quotes. It says, "I am not a product of my circumstances. I am a product of my decisions." And so back when I had my problems, I could have said, oh, if this wouldn't have happened, I'd be here. If this wouldn't happen, I'd be there. I grew so much as a person and I learned so much. So I don't regret any of the things that happened. And I don't regret having to start over, and that's okay. We have to start over a lot in life. So my question to you is, are you going to be a product of your circumstances, or are you going to be a product of your decisions? Another one of my favorite quotes is, if you keep doing what you're doing, you're going to keep getting what you're getting. So if you're a product of your decisions and you would like to take your business to 6 figures, like I said, this is not for everyone. Some of you may want just a side gig, and that's okay. I have other smaller programs for that. But if you want to take your business to 6 figures and you're a product of your decisions and you're willing to do what it takes to get there, those are the people that I want to work with. All of you, don't get me wrong, but those are the people that are right for this program, is what I'm trying to say. So if you're a product of your decisions, I'm going to provide a link to my offer, and I'm going to show you my offer here in just a minute. But this is the replay that you're watching, and this offer is something that I did for the webinar attendees. I'm going to extend that offer to you on the replay, and so what I have is my regular price is $10,075. I do have a discounted amount that I was doing for $8,100, and today for the webinar it's $6,075. So you're getting a pretty good, huge discount there. If you pay up front within the next 24 hours of watching this video, it's going to be $6,075. Okay. However, I do know that some of you are probably at a situation that I was in when I first started my business. I didn't have the money to pay for a coach. I took a leap of faith and I did it, and I was able to do it very quickly, which I know and can guarantee you that I can do that for you as well. So, but if there's any reason at all that you are needing to figure out finances, figure out a way to find the money, and you're not quite sure, but you want to make this happen, if you have that decision in your mind that you want to make this happen, if you want to work with me, and I think by now you've decided that you want to work with me or not, I think it's probably, if time or money were no issue, that would probably be the only reason that you wouldn't, right? So if you are a decision maker and you want to make this happen and move forward with me, let me know, reach out to me. I do have an option where if you pay $1,000 down, I will hold the payment option price of $8,100. It's not the greatest deal of the same deal as $6,075, but I will give you work out a payment plan with you. But the $1,000 will hold that price for you. All right. So that concludes the webinar today. I'm going to provide the links below this replay webinar. There's going to be the one where you will pay the $6,075, and then there's going to be the one where you can pay the $1,000 deposit to save the webinar promotion, and that's $8,100 with a payment plan. Okay. All right. Well, thanks for attending, y'all, and thanks for watching the webinar. I look forward to seeing you in the group. If you have not been in the group before, it's six-figure virtual bookkeeping professionals, and come join us and get some free education there as well. Talk to you soon, and you guys have a great day.